So this has gone better than I expected. This is day 7 of Pat's Picks, episode 7. I profited on 5 of the 6 days, up 13.96%, up $75 total with 540 bet, as you can see. I've won every day except for one. The only day I lost was the game 6 between the Leafs and the Maple Leafs, where I lost all 5 of my bets. And tonight I'm putting myself in a similar situation where I have 6 bets on one game. So if I'm wrong, and I'm very wrong, this could be volatile. I recommend playing, you never really want to play more than 3 bets on a game, to be honest, if you're going to be doing it. Sometimes it's best just to go with a strong opinion. Like, I'll go over my strong bet, and then I kind of just like to play around, to be honest. But really, smart people would just make the one bet that I'm going to probably recommend, and I think that's what most people should do watching this video. We'll get to that, though. Let's talk about last night, though. I went 3-2. I got the overs and unders on lock. I really have been hammering those lately. Over 5.5 in Rangers Canes. A lot of the game ones in the second round tend to go over. Was the case. Rangers came out and popped off with 3 goals in the first. Carolina got a goal that period as well. No goals in the second, and the Rangers scored 1 and the Canes scored 1. Carolina made it interesting at the end too. And we'll go over to my prop here that I lost with over 0.5 point for Svech and over 0.5 point for Jake Gensel. Svechnikov got a few penalties in this game. He squandered their opportunity at the end when they were going to be on 6-on-4 by taking a penalty on the faceoff right at the beginning of the power play with 40 seconds left in the game. I think Svechnikov is someone to bet a prop on next game just because he's probably going to want to bounce back after that. We hit the alternate over and unders. I did a little slight different of the over-unders here. As you can see, under 6.5 in Vegas, Dallas. Over 4.5, and then Vegas, I put $15 on them to win money line because I was thinking Vegas as dogs, there's a little value there. They didn't come up with a win, but no regrets there. You're playing a very good team as an underdog, so I think it's worth your while in hockey to do that when you see it. As you can see, last night I profited $36.85 on $95 worth of bets. Tonight, despite there being one game, I bet $100 on 6 different bets, and None of the straight bets I did involve an outcome. They just involve either goal totals or shot totals or point totals. But as you can see, Swayman, Bobrovsky. Swayman's coming in scorching hot. Bobrovsky had a decent series versus the Lightning. Panthers dispatched them easily in 5. I think this Bruins team is a lot better than that Lightning team. I know a lot of people still reminisce and think about Tampa as their old selves. I mean, they lost to the Leafs last year. I think it's more an indictment on how much Tampa's fallen down compared to how good Florida is. That being said, Florida is a damn good team and is the favorite to win this series, and rightly so. They have 4 lines that can bang. They have a very good D-corps, and they have a goalie who can stand on his head. He can be a little volatile, Sergei Bobrovsky. Whereas Swayman, we don't know specifically if he's going to turn volatile because we don't have the biggest sample size. But Swayman looked fantastic versus the Leafs. Bobrovsky and spurts look great versus Tampa, but comfortable series for Florida. Easy to be confident when you're steamrolling a team in the shots category and just pace of play like Florida was in Tampa. And I'm not putting too much stock into that like a lot of other people because I don't respect Tampa, this form of Tampa, as much as some other people. So let's talk about the play of the day, in my opinion. I think you go with the over 5.5. Now, if you watch the last few Bruins games, it's going to be kind of tough to wrap your head around this one. But I think Florida's style of play is a little more up and down, a little bit more quick. I think they can get caught on the counter. I think their pace of play and the forcing upon the Bruins, who have played a lot of hockey as of late, a lot of hard games. I think Florida is going to break through quite a few times tonight. But I think the Bruins know how to play Florida pretty well. I think they know the blueprint. It's about execution and stamina. I wouldn't really favor the Bruins tonight, but I don't really like the Panthers at the odds they're at either. But I think this over, just for how the teams play, it's going to be a filling out process. Things that Toronto did against Boston, Florida's going to do them different. Things Tampa didn't do against Florida, Boston's going to do them different. It's probably going to lead to some mistakes, probably going to lead to some goals. And as you can see, a lot of these game ones typically go over. Last year that wasn't the case in the Bruins Florida series, but that was a first round series. Not to say it makes much of a difference. I just kind of see it going that way with game flow. We then look at one thing I mentioned is I think Florida should be the favorite here. I don't really like betting minus 166 though on a, sorry if you can hear that truck in the background, that was kind of loud. I don't really feel comfortable betting minus 166 on a team that just had a week off compared to a team that's been playing tight, hard games, though, because the Bruins have found ways to win games they've needed to, like the Game 7, and they played tight games versus Toronto. I could see maybe just being a little sharper defensively, the Bruins, for not having a week off like Florida. So I don't really like Florida at minus 166. If I am betting on Florida, I would bet the spread before I would bet the money line, though, just because I feel like it's more likely if Florida wins, it's going to be by multiple. But at the same time, I think Swayman's going to make that kind of difficult. And then to go to props, I think Florida's going to put a good pace on and put a decent amount of shots on them. 29.5 is a big number. I think 24.5 is pretty low for the Bob total. I think the Bruins in Game 7 kind of figured out how to get the puck to the net a little bit better in tight games. And I think 24.5 is pretty low. So I think that's a little bit of a... I don't really like that line. I think, honestly, if you're going to bet one of these straight up, you probably have to bet the over Bob 24.5 just because it is a low number. I might do that after the fact, after this video. That being said, I love combining these two for a plus 234. I put $20 on it, and the more I think about it, I think maybe the right play would just be to play the Bob over 24.5 and not combine them. But I think Florida's going to put a decent amount of shots on the Bruins tonight, and I think Swayman deals well with a lot of shots. So that's one bet for my goalie props. I have two props just straight up for Florida. And I have reasons for both these. Over 3.5 for Reinhart. As you can see, the last 5 games, he's gone 5, 4, 3, 6, 5. He is a very big part of their offense this year. He scored almost 60 goals this year. And I think he'll probably be a little more impactful than the 60-goal scorer the Leafs had against us, just because the play is driven around him and then leads to him a lot of the times. He goes to the tough areas. He's just in there. He's in there, and he is a menace this year, and he plays on a team that plays a very tenacious style, and he goes to areas. I think he's going to get a lot of shots in tight. It wouldn't shock me if Sam Reinhart scores tonight because he scores often. 3.5 at plus 135. That's the other reason. It's plus odds on over 3.5 for a guy who hit this in 4 of his first 5 games. I think the shots are going to be there for Florida. I think he's going to be a good part of their offense, so I like that bet straight up a decent bit. And then Brandon Montour at plus 110. Now, I'm a Bruins fan. I have a little bit of PTSD from last year with seeing Brandon Montour play. He had 8 points in 7 games against the Bruins, as you can see. Kachuk 11-7. He's a Bruins killer as well. A lot of these guys show up against the Bruins. Carter Verhaeghe, Barkov solid. Reinhart had 4 goals in 7 games, just to give you an idea of what I'm talking about with him getting shots on. I like both these props. I don't like a lot of the Bruins props because I feel like their scoring is a little harder to predict tonight. It wouldn't shock me if Marchand gets on the board or Pasta gets on the board. Pasta did pretty well in this series last year, points-wise. And then we're going to go to lotto ticket bets, and I hate myself for this. I really do, but I played both of these. It's just a little more than what I want to put on these, but I made the bets kind of not thinking enough. That being said, they're lottery tickets, so I did one with the overs for the goalie saves, over 0.5 point for Marchand, over 0.5 point for Montour. Bruins plus 1.5 there. I think the Bruins will keep this tight. I think the Bruins can win this game too. I think a lot of people are underestimating the Bruins, so I think there's a little bit of value in betting the Bruins' way. That being said, Florida can win this game, like I've been saying. It's hard to predict game ones. I feel like after game 2, you kind of got a good idea of how the games are going to go, so it's a little better to predict. And then on the other side, I decided to put $5 more. When I saw I bet 95, this is literally what my brain said. It's like, I'm going to put $5 more down just to say I bet $100 on this game, which is terrible mentality. But I basically did the first bet here, that's plus 1,400, changed the Bruins just straight up winning, and then added the Montour shots and the over 5.5 goals. And the Reinhart shots. Did I not put it in here? No, I did. Okay. So, yeah, as you can see, you can read over it yourself, plus 6,500. So, 5 to win 330, 15 to win 230. If they hit, that's great. I wish I put a little less than $20 on these combined. I wish I did like a 5 and 5, not a 15 and 5. But, they're lotto tickets at the end of the day. Part of me thinks I shouldn't even include these in my tracking that I do, like up here. Where is it? Right here. But I'm going to, just for the integrity. But like these are really just like not bets I recommend, but just more so my aim for the sky plays in tonight's game. So, like I said, I think the Bruins can win this game. I think Florida can win this game. I don't like Florida at minus 166. I honestly think spread play, maybe a Bruins spread play combined with something might be the play, or just Panthers spread straight up could be the play. I think the over hits, as I mentioned, for the reasons I explained. Yeah, but it should be interesting. Rematch of last year's series. It went 7 games. Wouldn't shock me if it goes 7 again. Let me know your thoughts, your picks in the comments down below. We're in for a good one. The second round looks fantastic. And check in with me tomorrow to see my bets on tomorrow night's game. Subscribe, like, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day. Peace.